bad. Folks, you want to hear more? Me too. Well, please welcome Senior Editor of TV at People Magazine, Brianna Heldman!
Guys, welcome. We've got quite an amazing panel here for you today. First, I'd like to introduce Mika Watkins, the creator, writer, and executive producer of Origin. She's kind of a badass. You may have seen this guy before at some point in your life. You know him from Harry Potter and Planet of the Apes. And The Flash, it's Tom Felton. You've probably seen her as well. We have the Game of Thrones and Harry Potter star, Natalia Tena. He plays Shun. This is Sen Mitsuji. And we have our own Baum Ernst, Philip Christopher. Come on down. So since...
Testing.
You all there?
Hi, New York.
Everybody's here, yeah?
What's up?
Okay.
Hello. Thanks for the warm welcome.
So since this was for pretty much everyone, because this was a premiere, the first time anyone's seen any of Origin, Mika, can you tell us just kind of a basic gist of what the show is about?
Sure. I guess, you can partly see from the trailer, but it's about a group of people who've left Earth for a habitable planet that's been discovered in order to have a kind of fresh start. So erase their past on Earth and have a completely blank slate on a new planet. But they wake up on this spaceship to find that everyone else has disappeared, and they don't know why, and there's some kind of monstrous presence on the ship with them.
And what year is it supposed to be?
We don't say, because I guess that was a choice that we made, because I think it can sort of sometimes infringe a bit on the experience that you have, but it's sort of near enough that it's a recognizable world, but there are advances like faster than light travel and spacecrafts.
Awesome. So for all of our actors, can each of you talk a little bit about your character and what people can expect from them, as well as what drew you to them in the first place?
Sure. I play a chap called Logan Maine. He's an American scallywag who is a bit of a petty criminal back on Earth, really, and he has an opportunity to start a new life, and with a little nudge from a friend of his, he sees an opportunity worth taking, and that's how he ended up on Origin.
I play a woman called Lana Pierce, and she's also American, and she's been in the special forces. She's been wounded. She's got PTSD, but she's a human weapon. I had to learn some Krav Maga, which is very fun, and she kind of escapes. She feels like she's done something irredeemable, so she goes to space to try and redeem herself and start a new life.
Hi guys, I'm Shun. Well, I'm playing Shun, who's a Yakuza, a Japanese gangster.
Is that a little shout out for the Yakuza there? Woo! We've got one in the house.
What was I going to say? Yeah, he's a gangster who ironically develops a conscience of all things. And I guess the irony is that he leaves Earth to run away from all the useless bloodshed, but finds a whole bunch more on this spaceship. I'm done.
Your turn.
Testing.
Say some words.
I just borrow this one. Hey.
Everybody shares.
Yay. Hi, I play Baum. Baum is German.
For?
And it actually means tree. I have to say that.
Just leave it there.
I'll leave it at that. And my character is kind of the outcast antagonist of the bunch, not the nicest fellow. Yeah, that's about it so far.
What made each of you attracted to this character and to this project in general?
Well, it was definitely a very unique script. I'd never read anything like it or seen anything like it. So that was the initial appeal. I thought it was really cool. And then after auditioning, I was lucky enough to get Mika on the phone for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and she slowly sort of fleshed out where the story was going to go and what our characters were going to do. And I'm definitely one that I think responds more to who I'm going to be working with rather than what I'm going to be working on. And Mika tricked me that she was a lovely person to work with. Little did I know the horrors that were to come. So that was about it, really. Yeah, it was quite an easy decision for me.
I was drawn to it. I think even in the audition room, there was Mika and Alice, one of the producers, and Paul, the director, and I had so much fun in the room. It was just such a good group of people. And usually in auditions you get, it's pretty terrifying, but I don't know, they made me feel at ease and we had fun in the room. And I like the fact that there was a lot of strong female characters, which I think still isn't, women still aren't represented fully in a lot of series. I see you're wearing Handmaid's Tale, which makes me very happy. That's a great show. And I like the fact that there was elements of a flashback. It's not all just space. It's like, why have they come there? And so it's, character driven. And like him, I got to chat to her, and she told me, future elements of my character that I thought would be fun to play.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'll add to what Nat said. I was just psyched to see what a Yakuza would do in space.
I was psyched to see what a German would do in space.
What does a German do in space? All right. Well, Mika, you created this show. What inspired you, and how did that process begin?
Well, I knew I wanted to write something that was set in space, but I think for me it had to be, I wanted to write something that felt real and wasn't about sort of explorers and space adventurers, but people that we can relate to and people that are, if you or I were lost in space, something that felt like that's something we could go through as the audience as well. So yeah, I think for me, going to space is one of the most terrifying things you possibly do, because not only are you trapped in a ship, you also have no idea what exists beyond that. So it was kind of starting with the horror of it and working outwards.
Do you find you're drawn to horror in general?
I think so. I grew up watching a lot of horror and a lot of sci-fi, and I guess I like to scare people, but I don't like to be scared. So it's a bit of a contradiction, but yeah, I think it's really fun, and working with someone like Paul, who's just like a big kid. And I remember like renting out his films and watching them so much when I was younger myself. So yeah, it was a really nice kind of creative marriage.
Working with some of these other producers on the show who've done shows like Lost and The Crown, how have they influenced the direction of the show and your growth as a showrunner?
Yeah, The Crown doesn't really influence this show, but
there's a power struggle.
Yeah, there's some dynasty. Lost definitely was a massive touchstone for me because it was so amazing. I'd never seen a show like that was really representing so many different people and cultures. So I think that was a really big inspiration. But having such experienced producers obviously makes it an amazing, and I felt really supported through the whole thing.
Awesome. For Tom and Natalia, what keeps bringing you back to the sci-fi genre?
We just love working with each other.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's all it is. Actually, we pointed out earlier, because lots of people have asked us, what's it like to work again with each other? And I don't think we ever crossed paths once at Hogwarts.
Maybe in makeup, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. So it was a real treat when I landed in South Africa to find out that Nat was going to be working on it. I, for one, don't sort of target sci-fi or fantasy specifically. I seem to end up at these Comic Cons quite regularly, but there's definitely a big difference or separation between some of our previous work and this, I think. Although this is a sci-fi thriller as a category, it's very human to me. And although it's set in the future and we don't specify which year, it feels like something that is quite attainable. It feels like something that actually maybe we would see in our lifetime, or maybe our children's lifetime, but something that is really based on human motivation and doesn't feel like something that's set too far in the future.
I love sci-fi and fantasy. I do like being drawn to it, but I think it's always fun to do something else in between. I've done a lot of films where it's very different. you know, like now I might be doing, you know, a romantic comedy, and it's nice to switch it up. But yeah, I am always drawn still to fantasy. I'm a big comic book collector. So yeah, I'm very happy to be part of this.
What kinds of things did you have to do to physically prepare for this role? Because there's a lot of action and a lot of climbing and running and heart palpitations.
These two did a lot.
Yeah, of what, fighting? So, yeah, a lot of training, did some Krav Maga. We had like this trainer called Frick who would make us do lots of things with weights that are very, very hard. Weights are heavy. I mean, they are just heavy. Yeah, lots of Krav Maga. Had to eat a lot of chicken, you know. That was, yeah, that side
You were ripped.
Yeah, I was
You were
ripped. I
jacked
was
up,
properly
yeah.
ripped, yeah.
You wouldn't want to mess with Lana or Nat for that matter.
Yeah, I tried to shortcut it. I asked Philip if I could borrow his biceps, but he said no.
So mean. So mean. Did he really ask you that?
No.
Where is the show shot?
Cape Town.
Oh, wow. Cape Town, South Africa.
Cape Town, South Africa. If you haven't been, highly recommend. We've got a couple in the
Definitely go.
house. All lekker brew. How's it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All lekker.
Lekker.
It means good, for those who don't.
So who is the biggest prankster on the set? Who's causing the most drama?
Drama?
Not drama,
Or-
but we're
or
all
laughs,
equally
or laughs.
mischievous, I think.
Fraser.
Fraser, yeah. We didn't really bugger around too much, did we?
Yeah, we just, I mean, there's always like in-jokes and like, you know, things that happen in the moment that I don't know if I can remember or even like translate to telling you it now and it working as a joke. But we had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun on set. Some days were hard, but, you know, you pull through with humor.
I remember, I'm sure it won't be featured in the episode, but Sen had a beautiful idea towards the end. We had like a reservoir dog shot, wasn't it? Where there's like 12 of us, or 9 of us, walking in this sort of goose V-like formation, and we decided to, or Sen decided to, we would break into some sort of, what kind of dance was it? So right in the middle of the shot, as we're running away in a rather heroic fashion, we break into
West Side Story.
West Side Story, that was it, yeah. We were bloody brilliant. Is that going to make it in the cut?
Yeah, that's good. That's
We were really short on time that day, and the director was not impressed.
We found it funny.
So Mika, this is such a gorgeously diverse cast. Why was that something that was really important to you going in?
Well, I think because it's about, you know, a global project to colonize another planet, and we wanted to really represent that. But also, I think it's so much richer for having different cultures and different worlds, and also, you know, a lot of the episodes are in different languages and subtitled, and I think it just adds so much to the show, and it makes it feel really kind of authentic and, yeah, just very diverse.
What did you all think, and how did you come up with of some of the tech elements, which we will get to see in a little bit? Things like the phones and the ways of communication. That's always one of the more interesting things about sci-fi to me.
I loved all that, and I'm blown away by Mika's ability to keep inventing new technologies that seem really like they make a lot of sense.
Completely believable.
Yeah, I can't say too much more than that, but you'll see there's little tidbits throughout the entire season where...
He says that he loves tech, but he drives a shitty old van in the show, so...
Hey, don't start with the van, mate. That's the Black Beauty. She's not black. I don't know why I call her that. Yes, but Mika is an endless pool there of technological advancements. I imagine she'll be working for NASA in a few years.
Oh, that's so nice. Were there any moments in working with that tech that you kind of struggled with figuring out even how it would really be used, or how to play it?
Sorry, once more?
Were there any moments with the tech where you struggled to figure out how to use it or how to play using it?
Well, I think that's one of the nice things about the show is that for once in sci-fi, the people interacting with the spaceship don't know how to use it.
And we didn't either, so it was...
The watch was kind of
sucked,
complicated,
yeah.
I think. The watch.
So everyone can empathize.
Yeah, the watch.
The watch was kind of complicated because it was CGI, so we had to kind of imagine it. So that was kind of took a while to figure out how it works. But
Had you worked with CGI much? Was that an adjustment for you?
yeah, I mean, the great thing about the show was that there wasn't actually that much green screen. We had an amazing set, and there was a lot of, most of it was really the set. So there was a spaceship we could actually interact with, which was fantastic. So made it easier, the acting, too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Do we know, or how long will it take to find out why humans need to leave Earth?
Well, it's not really a dystopian show. It's not like the world is ending and we have to escape. It's more the fact that they found this planet that can facilitate human life, so they want to basically create a second home for man. And I think, what's happening on the planet and what that means is something that we can't talk about yet. Like, watch the show and see.
But it poses a nice question, doesn't it, that if you had the opportunity, if right now we were signing people up, would you? Because it's kind of a moral dilemma.
Raise your hands, would
no?
you?
Raise your hand if it's a yes. All right.
This is Comic-Con. I would have
Okay.
expected a few more hands raised.
Come and see me afterwards. I have a disclaimer form. We can sign you up. No, but
Spare tickets, yeah?
yeah, exactly. Season 2.
Well, we have a bit of a surprise for you guys. Coming up in a moment, we are going to get to see a nice big chunk of the first episode. And I can honestly say it had me on the edge of my seat, but I'm going to let Mika kind of tee it up for you so you know what's going on when you first start seeing what's happening.
Yeah, so it's actually the end of the episode, so forgive the sort of lack of context, but they've woken up on this ship, there's no one else there, they found the control room, and they're trying to figure out whether anyone's left or where to go. And they've also received a distress call from somewhere down deep in the ship, so 4 of them have gone to investigate. And then meanwhile in the flashback, your sort of Sen's character Shun, his brother is trying to pull him out of a life of crime. That's sort of where we are.
All right, are we ready for the clip?
Access granted.
What is that?
What are you doing?
Figuring out how it works.
Maybe me.
No!
How do you know how to do this?
To find this.
Not too many people could just work their way around a spaceship's computer like it's a game console.
Computer's a computer. It's like reading music. You might get a piece you've never seen before, but soon chords start making sense to you. Evacuation.
What?
There was an emergency evacuation. Life rafts have departed the ship. The crew, the other passengers, they're left without us.
Level 10.
Is anyone here?
Hello?
She's crew. Evelyn Ray.
She's alive. But she's in a bad way.
Someone did that to her, right? She's been attacked?
Don't know that.
Guns been used. Bullets missing.
Evelyn, can you hear me?
I can't see anything. What are you doing?
blood leads here.
There's someone inside.
The entire ship's empty. This one door is sealed shut. You don't find that a little f***ing suspicious?
The man on the radio asked for our help.
I'm just trying to keep us safe.
Really? Okay, what if it was you in there?
Get up! What? Come on!
You know I was here.
I tapped your GPS ages ago.
Why are you doing this?
You're my brother. I tried to save you, and you betrayed me. I was ready to start over with you.
It's who I am.
手当てする。そしてこの先二度と会うことはない。
お前には本当に失望した。お前の兄貴だろうがなかろうが、こいつは殺だ。
No! No! Takeshi! Takeshi!
Kenzaki. サツといる姿を俺に二度と見せるな。
Okay, fine. Give me the gun. I'll do it alone.
All right. Going together.
We'll sail with her. Let's try to make her comfortable.
Shin.
Do you think we're being punished?
What?
All that stuff Siren told us. The new beginning, a chance to erase everything that came before. But we woke up to this. What if we're in hell?
I don't believe in hell. Evelyn. It's okay. What?
The door. You haven't opened the door.
We heard someone inside.
You can't go in there. You can't go in there. Oh, Jesus. What is that?
Do you hear something?
What happened here?
Something hit the ship.
That's why the solar sails were torn. Are you okay? He's Siren. Hey, can you hear me? Hey, hello? What? What?
Hold him still! Hold him still!
What's wrong with him? Get out! What's happening? What the hell's happening?
Inside.
We need to get out of here. Come on!
Help me.
Wow.
Not bad, eh?
Hey.
That was pretty great. Let's give them one more round of applause for that.
Mika Watkins, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. You guys all gonna watch it? Yeah!
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
So what the heck happened to that man?
Ah.
Bad day.
Bad
Bad
day.
day at the office.
Is he being taken over by some other being? Does he have a disease? What can you tell us?
Pay the subscription. We can't tell you.
Yeah, I guess you have to watch and find out.
Oh. What is that black goo? Can you tell us something about that black goo?
What is that black goo?
Literally, what is it? Or what is it in the show?
Both.
Space goo. It's space goo. I think.
Just straight up space goop.
Yeah, I don't know what they made out of, but I know Paul spent days testing it and having loads of fun. So, yeah.
It was very slippery, I remember that.
And that's not CG, that's a real contortionist doing that, so that's I
Yeah.
was genuinely horrified.
So how many of the characters that we've met, and you can go even just say a percentage, know more about what this ship is really doing and where it's really going and what's really happening than is let on in that first episode?
I mean, no, they really are all just people who've completely woken up in this horrible situation and don't really know what to do. I mean, there is one crew member, and she sort of holds the key to some of the answers, but not all. So mostly it is just people who are genuinely lost and marooned.
Are we going to see more? What more are we going to see in the flashbacks? I know we get that great flashback with Shun. Is each episode now going to introduce us more to the backstory of each character?
Yes.
Yes. We go around the world.
Good
We go
answer.
to Germany, we go to America, we go to Africa.
France.
En français.
Ireland.
Ireland, yes.
Where do we go in Africa? Is that South Africa?
Huh?
It is South Africa.
Ooh,
right?
Henri.
Yeah, it's Cape Town.
Well, what can you reveal about this creature or what lurks beyond?
Absolutely nothing.
But it's very scary and thrilling.
Oh my days, I can't even
Lot
watch
of black
that.
goo.
My heart is racing now. Not much. Mika, what can you reveal?
Nada.
Nada.
Nothing.
It's one of the scariest bloody things I've seen, I'll tell you that much.
Well,
All will be revealed.
ultimately, though, what is scarier, the humans or the extraterrestrial? Because humans in these kinds of situations
question.
tend to run afoul.
Yeah, well, it definitely becomes, as the series goes on and they continue to be trapped in the space that they can't escape from, it's more and more Lord of the Flies, I guess. So it's kind of a mix of the two. Horror from everywhere.
All right.
Some of the humans are scary, but nowhere near as scary as that thing.
Okay. So without spoiling too much for each of the actors, why don't you tell us what's been one of your favorite scenes to shoot?
Ooh, good question. Over to Philip.
What's that?
Are you here, mate?
I'm supposed to start?
Yes.
Yeah, you go first.
I don't know how much I can say, but I had to punch someone. Can I say who it was?
And how'd that go?
It was awesome.
Was it Tom?
I don't know. You'll find out. But that was fun.
How much rehearsal did you need for that punch?
What's that?
How much rehearsal did you need for that punch?
How much? Oh,
How much rehearsal?
how much rehearsal? Oh, none. I loved it. It was like right away.
Philip's a very violent man.
Well versed.
Did you actually make contact?
No, of course not. No. Wanted to, but no.
So it was definitely Tom.
Trying to think now, what is some of the highlight scenes that we did?
Hardest? Highlight. I just don't know if I can say it. It involves space.
Something happened.
And it was really fun. I'm excited to see how some of the fight stuff looks. I don't know how much I can say.
Well, honestly, my flashback happens a little later on in the season. It's episode 8, if I'm not ruining it, everyone, for it. So it was nice to actually get off the ship. For the first 4 months, it was the only sets that we knew were all on the ship. So it was quite bizarre to be outside in the under the sunlight. But my character has a very special lady in his life, of which I can't say anymore. But she is really the main influence on him, probably the biggest influence on his life, really. And developing that relationship with her was a real treat. I'm very confident that you're going to like it.
I know what my least favorite scene was.
Please do tell.
Nat punches me at one point.
Only once?
And
I'm
she
sure I punched you more than that.
On screen.
On screen, yeah.
Oh.
And she followed through. I got hit in the nose with a book.
I'm so sorry.
Good job.
I was so in it at the time. There was a real connect, you know, that noise. You're like, oh, shit.
I actually had several injuries while filming. Not that Mika knows about this, but I
about them
actually
every day
basically,
since.
it's true, I nearly severed my finger off. It was very dramatic.
He literally, like, trapped his finger in something and was like, medic!
I did not. In fact, the real story goes, ever supportive, thank you, Mika. The real story goes, it was actually a shot on Philip, and I was off screen, but being the ever professional that I am, I decided to really get amped up to try and help Philip with his performance, because he needs it desperately. And anyway, as they were rolling cameras, I slammed my hand against a wall vigorously, and I immediately felt, it was just the tip of my finger, to be honest, but it sliced it and immediately started pissing out blood. And I didn't call for the medic. I didn't even call cut. We continued the scene. I was brilliant.
And then you...
But they got none of it on camera, of course, and when they did call cut, I did run off to the medic, and rightfully so. It's still not healed properly, to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah.
All together now. Aww.
Thank you. Finally, some bloody sympathy. Thank you very much.
Why do you guys feel that Origin is a perfect fit with YouTube and YouTube Premium?
I think it's really pulpy and it's very hooky, so you just kind of want to binge it, I hope. And also I think it's quite cool. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I think it's quite cool.
You can toot. Toot, toot. It is very cool. It is very cool. I'm not sure why it's the perfect fit. I know that YouTube are a great company to work for and with, and I think they would have probably had the choice of any genre and any piece they possibly could. And I know I have full faith that the people upstairs have chosen this for a reason. I'm sure it was because of the content and for working with Mika. So I think it will be the perfect platform for it to launch to the world.
Awesome. And on that note, I'm going to open this up to audience questions. We've got some microphones in the aisleways. So please come on, stand up, and line up behind
Don't be
the
shy.
microphones. And we'll let this very quick gentleman ask the first question. Hi.
Slytherin in the house.
We've got the t-shirt. That's awesome.
Amazing.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Skylar from the Bronx again. My question is, as a character or in real life, if you had to start a new life, what memory would you bring?
That is such a good question.
What memory did you
We're only allowed to take a memory, nothing else.
Like an object.
Well, maybe an object.
Okay.
I'd bring my dog.
I'd bring Nat's dog.
Accordion.
Yes, I'd love an instrument. A musical instrument would be great. Maybe a ukulele, because it's nice and small, but something like that. What would you bring, more to the point? I feel like chocolate might be on your eye.
No.
No? Okay. Bad answer. All right, give it some thought while Brother Sen, what do you got for us? Okay, moving on swiftly. Mika.
I'm English, so I'd take some tea. Did you go?
Oh, yeah. Family, yeah, for sure.
You said object.
No, I thought you didn't. Was it memory or object?
It's a memory.
It was memory, yeah. Memories of my family.
I think I'd bring my mom.
Oh, that's sweet.
Champion answer.
Winner.
Good man. Thanks for your question, buddy.
Thank you. So we're going to go over to this line over here.
What was the most difficult part of working on set?
Yes.
Cell 50. See, you know that cell that is there? That cell was very hard to work in, and everything felt like it was trying to injure you. And the gloop was very slippery. Everyone stacked it. Everyone at some point fell over. So yeah, that was the hardest bit, I'd say.
What was the hardest thing about working on set? That was the question? Tom Felton.
Question, yep.
I already
That
made
Mike
that
Spence.
joke. Pointed at him.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it was being barefoot for the first few weeks was rather painful at times. Actually, the hardest thing, for those of you who don't know, Mika is a bit of a Potter fan, and every day she insisted on calling me Draco. It's not funny. No, don't encourage her. She loves to throw spells at me. She loves to ask questions that I don't know the answer to. And she still does. In fact, this morning she's still tyrant of abuse.
The best thing was we had this psych evaluation thing, which was a word association. So you had to say a word, and then he said it back, and I was reading with him. So it was like, we got to the point where it was quite intense, and I was like, friend, and he was like, isolation. And I was like, Wingardium. And then
I leapt out my chair to strangle her. Yes, yes, yes.
You look amazing, by the way. Thank you.
Let's hear your question.
How did you like approximating an American accent?
How did what, sorry? I got the American accent bit.
How did it go approximating the American accent for those that did that?
It's a lovely word.
It was hard. I basically spoke an American accent for 6 months because I was so terrified of getting it wrong. I thought if I just spoken it every single day to everyone, including my boyfriend, by the end of it was like, and then when I went back to speak English, I sounded mental. I didn't even sound British. I sounded like stuck between the pond. I rang my boyfriend and I was like, I can speak normal again. He's like, no, you can't. Just hung up laughing. Like, it took me like 3 days to like get back to normal. But it was hard, but it was good because then if you did have to improvise or if you, I don't know, it was just there. You were just in that mind frame and it helped. I hope I did a good job. I'm a bit scared about that.
Let's hear that. The American accent.
What's that?
Can you do that right now, the American
Oh my
accent?
God, on the spot?
No.
Not really, especially in a room full of Americans. Well, yeah, okay, Mika makes fun of me as well because I order my food in American.
Hey,
in
can
America.
I get a slice of pizza?
Yeah, because you have to. Otherwise, if you ask for a glass of water, they're sort of like, what? You go see a bottle of water. And they're like, oh. There you go. Yeah, it's a constant muscle that I think we all have to keep flexing, really. But it did help having each other to do it with, I suppose. Hopefully we haven't done your country too much of a disservice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Unicorn.
This side.
So as someone that personally does Krav Maga and full MMA, I was wondering, what was like one of the hardest things about like learning Krav Maga for you personally?
I mean, it was just the intensity of doing it. Like any time I had time off, I mean, I was kind of essentially like training 2 hours a day while filming. So I think that's what was pretty hard. I had a great teacher. Etienne was awesome, and I think what was the hardest bit is he was full on. Like in lessons, you know, I'd learn something, and he would just, it was almost like he wanted it to be so quickly to my muscle memory, he wouldn't stop. And so at the end of the lesson, it was very exhausting. In fact, then when my bloke came over to see me, I took him to the lesson and I accidentally smashed him in the face. And he had like a broken, yeah. So yeah, that was a bit hard, hurting my boyfriend, yeah. Maybe that.
Although as I recall, he quite enjoyed it.
I think he likes that kind of thing. Each to their own, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, lovely.
So one thing that stood out to me when I was watching this was how organic the reactions were. Like when you guys found out, you know, everybody pretty much abandoning you, was kind of like, ugh. But then you two were watching, you know, this guy like contorting his body, and you're just kind of staring at it where I want to run out of the room. So my question is, how were you like reacting to these situations, but then how would you personally have reacted to the same situation? Like, were there any things that you would have reacted completely differently?
Maybe in that situation I would have kicked him and run away. in me. But I think obviously they need to find out the answer to something because they are, you know, that fear is bigger than the fear of that person doing whatever that's doing. You know, we need to find answers. That's our kind of main goal.
Fight Forrest Gump.
Philip?
Oh, I'll stick around. I'll watch that. I think it's entertaining.
Dear Lord. All right. But that one was particularly cool because that guy is not, it's all real. Like, he's a contortionist. He's genuinely, his body is insane.
Scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, so I think Sen didn't see anything before, I feel like. Before.
Neither. I hadn't gone out.
So their reactions kind of were genuine.
I asked him not to show me. Yeah, and then he chased me around like a spider after we did this thing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Go for it.
Hi, thanks for coming. So I have a two-part question. Sci-fi really takes you out of kind of your element. So I was wondering, I wanted everyone to talk about, like, do they feel like they express themselves best through acting, and does it bring a new side to you in your normal personality because you're kind of in different kinds of situations? And the second part is, I know that Tom does like a lot of music and singing. I love your stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. And like, I was wondering, does that reflect your personality more? And I have an extra ticket to the Comic-Con UCB performance if you want to come. My friends dared me to ask you. I dared myself.
I dare not say no. No, wait, I got that wrong. I would love to.
I think he's nervous.
I would love to. I fear I may have other engagements, but the offer was very kind of you. Thank you. I don't really know, actually. It's a very good question. Philip.
What? Oh, man. Hi, I'm Philip. It was can you repeat? I'm sorry.
So, like...
I was listening.
No, it's okay. I think, yeah, okay. So, basically, like, sci-fi takes you out of your element, right?
Yes.
And you're in all this stuff, and, like, I know everybody expresses themselves in different ways, and you're especially doing it through acting. Do you feel like you find a new side of your personality through acting?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, this character, my character now is very, I think he's very different than me. And every time you work on a character and you do their background and you sort of develop their story, you invest your own personality into that stuff too, and there's certain things that come out, so it always kind of influences you in a way, because you learn so much about human beings and why they are the way they are, and that's all the background work that you have to do. So yeah, you learn a lot, so it always feeds into your own personality, I think.
Good answer.
That's really nice. Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah, and I don't know, I think sometimes as well, acting in a way can also be a form of therapy, which is quite good. You can tap into a lot of things, and sometimes things that you want to deny about yourself, but you have to use for a certain character, and that's good to accept sometimes. What was the other bit about music?
Yeah, like if you do any other activities.
Yeah, I've got a band called Molotov Jukebox. I play the accordion.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, but they're both, they are both different things. I don't know, it's in a way, I don't know, I think acting comes from a different place. Like when I sing, I feel like it's coming from somewhere very primal, like my vagina, like via my diaphragm. Whereas with acting, it's a much more like, sometimes it can come from there, but it's much more an adrenal and a mental thing. Anyway.
I think it's always fun to escape a little and play someone different, or to be in different shoes, or lack of shoes in this case, or to dress up like a fabulous unicorn and parade the streets of New York. So I think all of us can relate to that. Whether it actually enhances or changes our personality, I'm not sure, but it's definitely a lot of bloody fun.
Thank you. Awesome.
Cheers, mate. I'll see you tonight.
All right, sounds good.
So for Tom and Natalia, with you both being in the Harry Potter series as well as other big franchises like The Flash and Game of Thrones, how does your acting adapt when you're at an actual set where you're on the spaceship or have to do more CGI? How do you have to adapt your acting?
With CGI, you mean?
Yeah.
You just have to use your imagination a bit more.
So like,
I think.
Yeah, I think we were both lucky enough to have done it at a fairly young age. I'm very much used to looking at some geezer with a tennis ball, pretending that it's a dragon, you know. So that kind of comes as second nature, really. Or, you know, Quidditch was not half as fun as it looked in the film, I can assure you. But we were lucky in this case because literally, I want to say the majority of it was all practical. The sets were all completely real and immersive, complete 360 sets. So the imagination was really used as far as what is out there and what's trying to take us down. I would say I enjoy either equally, but it's certainly easier as an actor, I suppose, to be reacting to something that's physically there rather than the tennis ball.
and then quick second question. So making the assumption that it is you who gets punched by Philip's character, who punches the hardest? Hermione, Barry Allen, or Philip's character?
Yeah, to bring up the Hermione punch. She has got a mean hook. Don't let her petite figure fool you. Don't mess with Emma Watson, mate. She will punch the shit out of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
I'm really looking forward to the show because I'm a big fan of sci-fi myself. This show looks like very original because I always see like sci-fi movies and I like hate it because it's like predictable. But this one, it's like you guys are more unique cast. I see the chemistry because I'm a big fan of you, Tom and Natalie. And actually, one of our friends is
we bonded over our love for Harry Potter, so we're here today. My question was, what kind of like with this character, because it's way different from your other roles, what does this character set you apart? From the other roles that you do?
I mean, every character's always different, I suppose. But I revel and really enjoy playing someone that's very different from Tom.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fairly sort of boring, semi-friendly guy. So it's nice to play someone who's highly strung and has really had a bit of a miserable time in life. I mean, he expresses himself quite poorly and has a foul mouth.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy having the opportunity to do that, really.
Yeah. Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you, lovely.
Go ahead.
Bye. Hello, mate.
Hello. I guess first I'd like to welcome you all to New York.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I guess my question is that YouTube isn't really known a lot for their original programming, so I was wondering if the check cleared.
Yes, they
that's
have
good.
money.
Bravo. If you don't mind, I got a second question. I was just curious of how many episodes that they had planned for the show, and have you completed filming them all?
One for Mika.
10 episodes, and they're done. They're ready.
You see them all on the same day, on the 14th of November.
Oh, okay.
YouTube Premium, people. Check it out. Thanks, mate.
It looked good. We will be.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You're up.
What's up, dude?
What's going down?
How you doing?
All right.
I just wanted to ask if you're going to meet up with our mutual friend Dan tonight.
I doubt it, but I would love to see him, for sure.
While you're here, you're not going to see his play?
It's been a while. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the chance to this time around, but I heard it's fantastic. Any chance to see lovely Daniel is always a pleasure. Have you seen it?
I want to see it. I've seen him in a bunch of other plays. He's so talented. But yeah.
That he is, a very talented man, and a lovely one at that. So.
Another question. Are you going to dress up in disguise and go meet other celebrities at Comic-Con?
I already have. In case you've seen Spider-Man walking around this morning.
Oh.
I'm lying, it wasn't me. Sorry, not yet.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, hello. Who do you think is the most like the character that they play in the show?
Oh, good question. Madeline?
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah, totally.
She's the youngest member of the bunch. We
The
saw
one in that the blood drops on her.
Yes. She's very sweet.
She is so sweet and lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the most unlike their character is Philip, though, because when he auditioned, I was like, this guy's such an arrogant asshole. And then he turned up.
Talk about the self-tape, which was the self-tape.
The self-tape that he did topless. Woo!
Take it off! Sorry, objectifying him.
Hang on, what do you think of me? I play a mass murderer.
Yeah, but you're really sorry.
It's a fair point.
Also, piggybacking off the last question, that YouTube isn't known for its original series, do you think that this will draw people to YouTube?
That's the idea, mate.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll hope so.
Fingers crossed we have a whole hall full of subscribers right here. I'll take that whoop as a positive affirmance. Thank you.
Let's try to keep it to one question per person, guys, please.
Tom, huge fan.
Thank you, mate.
Huge fan. So if you had the choice to go to space, but you couldn't come back, would you do it?
I personally quite like this little Earth of ours. I think we're having quite a good time. I know we're buggering it up a bit, but I'm a personal fan of Earth, and I have lots of friends and family here, and a lovely dog, so I will stay here for now.
Anyone else?
I would firmly stay here. Love Earth. Love gravity on Earth. It works.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, mate.
Hello. I was wondering if there were any films or any movie that was like inspiring to you guys to act or to even create a show, like Alien, perhaps?
Alien.
Yeah, I think Alien definitely. Lost. Pitch Black. I love Pitch Black. Everyone says it's a B movie. I think it's great.
It is great.
Yeah. So I don't know, classic sci-fi, I guess. What about you, Tom? Aliens?
Aliens, yes, that's the second one. Thank you. It's not related to sci-fi at all, but as a kid, Home Alone, Jurassic Park, and The Mask. Those are the.
Oh, The Mask.
Jim Carrey was definitely a big influence on me growing up. So yeah. Well, it was not a sci-fi related question. It was just, were there any movies that have inspired us to want to, you know?
I see.
I'm saying those are some of the ones as a kid anyway. How about you? Sorry, Nat, go on.
No, I was thinking, sounds weird, but I was inspired by Lady and the Tramp. Not the lady, the dog in the prison with the band, who's like really sexy, and I was like, I want to be her when I'm older.
Can't top that, yeah.
To this guy.
Lady and the Tramp? Really?
Hey, I was 4 or something.
But I think it's also would be, for me, Alien, yeah, for sure. Star Wars. That was a German accent.
And I think our last question's going to have to come from the Joker.
Yay.
Well,
you look amazing.
Why so
the problem
serious?
is I don't know what to say because the girl in front of me stole my question.
Oh, God
so.
damn it.
Well, you said Quidditch doesn't look as fun as it actually was in the movie. Well, I suspected that, but I never wondered until then. How was it done?
Wait.
Honestly, I'd have to kill you. No, of course it's real, mate. Nimbus 2000s were up there, months of training. No, various different rigs, various different gimbals, various different things. Huge bloody fans in the face, various tennis balls with guys holding them. And a rather painful fitting that wedges you to the thing. They actually strap you to it to ensure that you don't come off. But I'm lying. It is a lot of fun. You'll find out at Hogwarts.
Thanks, mate. Great question.
Thank you, Mr. Joker.
All right, guys, I've got a couple quick announcements before we get going. First of all, there is a very cool shirt waiting for you at the giveaway table behind the seating. Secondly, be very sure to tune in to YouTube Premium for Origin beginning November 14th, where you'll be able to watch all 10 episodes. And lastly, let's give a round of applause to this amazing panel.
Thank you very much for coming out.
Thank you so much.
Watch Origin. We love you.
Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Jackie Jennings with SYFYWIRE. If you can't get enough of New York Comic Con, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel for news, interviews, cosplay, and so much more. What are you waiting for?